This evening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to somebody who I love very much, and I have no qualms about saying it. I love her. Her name is Sandra Rachell, and she's such a blessing to my heart and my spirit and my soul. Her husband could possibly be one of my favorite people on earth, and her children, her sons, are just beautiful. They're honestly super cool and beautiful people. Everybody over there at Rachell's Wheels and Tires. And I choose this moment to speak a blessing over them and a blessing over you guys who are listening. Tonight I'm going to share with you something that it's interesting to me, because today my spirit felt so heavy, and I knew that it was in me to edit this episode today, but I didn't actually realize what I was going to be talking about. I didn't remember the conversation. And as you listen to the sound of the cars roll by, I want you to get used to it, because we're going to the tire shop. That's where we're going tonight. And I think that this could be a little heavy. So we're going to finish it with a moment of gratitude, just for basic things. You know, these days I've been learning and relearning and remembering to be grateful for things like my fingers and my arms and my legs, and the fact that I ate some point today something. Just basic things that maybe sometimes we all take for granted when there's so many other things that are pressing on our minds. So sit back, relax, unwind. I hope you're in bed. I hope you're ready for an adventure, and then we're gonna wind down like we always do. This is Loving Kindness Every Day, and we welcome you.
Welcome to Loving Kindness Every Day, where you will hear everyday language such as 4-letter, 5-letter, or words that your mother might call profanity. Please be advised.
Pick that up. So it's going to pick up a little bit of the background noise just because we're at the tire shop, but it's just going to pick up our conversation, and you know, it can be as anonymous or public as you want it to be. So like, we don't have to tell anybody who you are. If you want to say your name and who you are, you can, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. And we just talk.
Okay, let's talk.
If you'll tell me how much anonymity you want, that way I can just be mindful of what I say. Are you okay with people knowing who you are?
I'm okay. I like to be behind the scenes.
That's okay. It's just so because if I talk about you and like how I met you, and I talk about my car, and I talk about the tire shop, people might know. People know. I can say that. Okay, all right. I don't want to be like disrespectful. You know what I mean?
No, go ahead. It's okay, but they can know.
But yeah, I just I felt you again. I've been feeling you really hard in my spirit. And I wanted to come and check on you and see were you okay, but I convinced myself not to. So that's why the nail's there.
I've been in a dark place, but when I'm like that, I shut down to everything. It is like the older I'm getting, the darker the hole is. It is hard to come out. It's taking longer to come back around.
It's funny too, because I had been feeling, I told you outside, I had been feeling dark. And then I convinced myself, I thought of you, and then I convinced myself that like I wasn't being strong enough, because I wasn't thinking the way that you described before. Like, we had this conversation and you were just like, oh yeah, like, I don't need people in like relationships. I don't have to constantly like you know, like run from relationship to relationship or whatever. And I guess I was just like in a lonely place at the time where I was just like thinking like, oh geez, like I wish I had this or that and the next thing. And I was like thinking of our conversation. I was like, I need to be more like Miss Sandra and like not be thinking these ways. And like I was like really kind of like really like beating myself up, like thinking of you, thinking like, yeah, she's so strong, be that way. You know? But I was.
Anytime if you make a decision that, well, I speak for the type of person I am. If I feel like, and I know everybody needs somebody, but I feel like honestly, I can walk away at any time and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Because in my mind, if I don't do it, I can hurt myself more by pleasing everybody else. And I'm trying to get to the point to where I live for me now.
It's interesting. It's this human condition. I've noticed it now. You said it to me earlier, and you were like, as I get older, I just realized that I'm gonna have to go through these times, like these dark moments where it's just gonna come, that's what's gonna happen, or whatever. And like, for me, I've recently come to that thing, like there's this like Buddhist principle where like Buddha talks about like all life is suffering, and it sounds a little bit depressing, that one for me. You know,
it's very depressing.
Like all life is suffering.
And you don't want to talk about it around people because a lot of people say they don't like being around depressed people. That's another thing that I just have to deal with when people that know I was like a depressed person. They'll say, you need to be upbeat, uplift yourself. Don't be sad looking. Don't be holding your head down. Cheer up. Do something. Well, everybody don't like to fake it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody do not like faking it. And I cannot fake happiness if I'm not happy. I like to be alone. And I'm not saying I'm unhappy when I'm alone. I'm not unhappy. As a matter of fact, I think I'm happy.
Interesting. So how do you get out of it when you get into those little moments?
How do I get out of it?
I mean, what's happiness to you?
What's happiness to me is being able to be alone without people trying to push you into being around with other people, to interact. If I want to do it, I will do it. But it's so hard for me to do it. So I very, very, very rarely do it. I hardly ever do it. I have girlfriends, it's like 3, 4 of us. They want me with them all the time, want me to do with them, do things with them, travel with them, which is happiness because when they come back, they show their pictures and everything. The island they be done with or whatever. It'd be beautiful. Everything is beautiful. The food, everything just looks good. But I could do it, but I will not do it. And the reason why is because I have experienced so many times. Every time if I try to be with you or be with them, something gonna happen where that they may say something slick around me, about me, and it's a turn off for me. Look at you, you're so small, or you hardly ever eat anything, but they don't know my health condition. They don't know what I'm going through health-wise. They don't know what I'm going through mentally. And they think they can shame me, and I don't like it because what I'm with you, all thing I'm going to do is tell you how beautiful you are. So why are you going to try to be negative towards me about me? And it's a turn off. I don't like most people say, oh, I heard him say that. She said it to me, and I don't pay her no attention. I don't do that. I pay everything no attention.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Everything come out my mouth. I try to be careful with it because everything I hear come out of their mouth, I hear it.
Yes.
It stores inside of me instead of leaving me like it leaves other people. It doesn't leave me.
But does it leave them? And that's the thing, because we talk about like perception versus reality. Like I started my thing saying to you like, oh, I was thinking I should be more like Miss Sandra because she's this way, but then you basically like we started our conversation today where you basically were like, no, I'm not that way. That's not how I feel. Like, you know, and so it's like maybe we think that other people don't care and they go, oh, I didn't think anything of that person or what they said, but then like later on at night they think about it, they just don't admit it, like they don't tell anybody that it was
that's
hurtful.
what they be doing.
I think so, because I mean that's how I feel. I don't know, maybe
because
I'm wrong.
you're a person, how can you not?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I believe you. I believe what you're saying, that it does play back and they think about it, but they don't want to own up to it that it bothered them.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Because it's okay. Because we should be able to talk about it.
I think we should be able to talk about a lot of things, so we don't.
But they don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about how they truly feel about things. They always wants to hide everything and pretend it didn't exist, which it did. I'm not ashamed of anything that has happened to me in the past because it did happen, and I will discuss it and I feel no shame about it, because if I feel like it should not have been said or done, it shouldn't have been said or done, and that's just how I feel.
I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds me of my trip to Miami. It does, because it makes me, that's how I feel about it. Like I put out this episode where I talked about my brother who did abuse me sexually, you know, for a really long time, like from like when I was a baby until I was like 11.
Did anybody know?
No, nobody knew until I turned 15, and I told them.
Okay.
And that's what the episode is about. It's a long episode I did where I kind of talk about how they found out, and like when it came down to it, how he ends up getting arrested and all that kind of stuff because of the shame, because of like not talking, because of all of that kind of stuff. Hang on, wait.
Have you ever apologized?
So I think like somebody walked in the door here or something happened. Anyway, we had to change the subject, and it's probably for the best.
I drove to like Sanford or some, like just north of Sanford to my friend's house. That'll take about like 7 hours.
Yeah, wow.
And then I'll hang out with them, with him and his wife, and then I'm gonna drive to Miami in the morning on the 29th. I'm gonna go to my high school reunion, and then I'm gonna do whatever else. I'm not really sure what else I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna take it easy. Like I was saying, Miss Sandra, I'm gonna do some healing and drive around and go visit some places.
I'm sorry for flopping down.
Oh, don't be sorry for me. Listen, y'all happen to have that tire?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that you have that tire.
Yeah.
I love the divine synchronicity of them needing the tire, coming across here, and you being like, I have to order it. Nope, actually we have that. I love that. I love that. Actually, if I can go back, I want to tell a story. I want to tell about I tell about the first time that I met you, and how I got here to this tire shop. Because I mean, I've been here before, but I was going to pick up bread one day, and I think I told you I turned the corner and my tire, I heard it. Like it was like one of those things where I turned the corner and I knew the tire was gone. It was just like pop, and I was like, oh, that's gone. That's gone. That's gone. I just knew it was gone. I was like, that tire's gone. And in my heart, I felt peace. Like I knew it was okay. Like I knew it was for like a good reason. But like at the same time, it was like a bad thing. You know what I mean? And like
it do be when it first happens, but then, like you said, you hurry back up and jumped into, hey, that's okay.
That one. I jumped. I did. You're right. When it first happened, my first initial reaction was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, no. All things work together for the good of those who love the
Like
Lord.
you tell me all the time.
Call according to His purpose. That's the one.
That's
Each
it.
time.
Everything is for a reason.
Each time. And a good reason. And only to help you.
That's it.
And so I felt that, and I knew that, even though I didn't know why. And then y'all shop came to my spirit straight away, and I called, and actually you answered the phone, and I was like maybe 10 minutes away, and y'all were about to close in like 5 minutes, and I told you that. I was
Yeah,
like,
you sat right up the street.
I'm on the street, but like,
And I'm on my way, I'm coming.
yeah, and you're like, no, just come, da 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 da, and you know, like y'all were so lovely, and then we kind of got to talking, and then I realized, like, I guess after talking to you that day, I realized that I came here to meet you that day when we started talking, and you were telling me about, you know, like, you know, going to the doctor and kind of like the way you were feeling, and I was like, no, this is why I need to be here. Like, I know that.
You said it that day.
I knew it, and then it's like at the time, even at the time you didn't know it, like nobody knew, but like you were just like a walking appendicitis case.
It didn't know it.
Like,
Had no
literally.
idea. Had no idea of what was going on. All I thought it was just a hernia repair.
That's wild. Oops, I got it. You had 4 more horses at that time. I love that I picked up
At
the
one
horse,
time, it did. But the ones that I do not have now, they're buried on the property. They buried at my house.
I haven't been horse riding in so long. I'd love to go horse riding. All right, so here we are. Okay, so anyway, at the time you say to me, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the doctor tomorrow." You know, we pray, we start speaking affirmations over your life. We start speaking health over your life, and then tell me about tell me about how you ended up in the emergency surgery.
Where I was going as outpatient for a hemorrhoid repair, and my potassium was so low to where they up there before 5, getting ready for the procedure. But they checked my doctor told them to check my potassium level because it's always low. I'd never known it to be a 2. It was a 2. So they said, we can't take her in there for this, even though that was a simple surgery, in and out. We can't take her in there for that procedure because her potassium is so low. The anesthesiologist put her to sleep. She may not even wake up, her heart. So they went to my doctor, told him that my potassium was a 2. He said, we're going to run 2 bags. We're going to go ahead and do the second procedure and come back and get her. I was supposed to have been first because it takes 2 hours. It takes an hour per bag.
Okay.
So they ran the 2 bags
IV bags.
for my potassium.
Got it.
Yes. And they checked me again. And it was still 2.
Oh.
It didn't even go up. So they went back and called them again because they was ready for me. That my potassium still hasn't even been moving. So they said, well, they're going to end up probably calling this off. That's what the nurse was saying. That they probably was going to call it off and not do the surgery. But then they had asked me, would they take you to the OR? Have you ever been able to get over on the bed for the procedure, or do they have to put you? I've always been awake whenever I went under, and because he said, no, we are going to do this. For some reason, he knew he had to touch me, but he had told me anyway before he did the procedure. He said you've been hurting for some time, for years. I've seen all these tests. You've been to so many different doctors for the same thing. I'm gonna find out what's going on with you. I had been going through this for too long.
It was too long.
Too long.
It was wild.
Yeah, wow. He said, I'm gonna go clean through your stomach. And I'm gonna find out what's going on with you. But I'm gonna do the hernia, then I'm gonna see what's going on. So maybe that's how he felt what was going on after he repaired it. He went through looking and he saw what was going on, which were my intestines was all tied up in knots. Some of them was tied up to my appendix. My appendix had crystallized. And if he had not felt that out, I wouldn't be here too much longer. A couple of days, as a matter of fact.
Whoa. He told you that you'd only have lived for a couple more days?
Yes. Well, after he came to see me, after he did the procedure and I was in the hospital bed, he was telling me what was going on with me, how serious it was.
Yeah.
He had never done one that bad.
Whoa.
He had to take his time because it was so tangled up in knots, so flat now. They was flat. They was tied tight.
Oof.
He had to take his time and untie everything.
Makes sense now. That's why you're feeling the way that you feel now.
That's why
and
I was,
okay.
yes,
I was healing.
Right, it's gonna take a long time.
No, it's gonna be fast, but it's just that's what we have to recognize. I see
Yes,
that. Okay,
yes,
that makes sense.
with my age and with
The supernatural powers
all
of
of that,
Jesus.
yeah.
Each time. Okay. Whoa. All right. And that was like, and because I remember I talked to you after this and you told me, because I didn't realize how long you had been suffering. Obviously, when we talked that first day, when I had the flat tire and I met you, we talked about it. And in my mind, I thought like, oh, maybe this has been going for a year. But you told me it had been like a decade.
Yes. I had been constantly throwing up, and that's why I was throwing up. And up underneath my eyes, I have pictures where my veins will pop and my eyes would be black and blue, period, for at least a month to heal.
Whoa.
Yeah, all that blood to
From
dissolve,
the
try to go.
phone up, yeah. And that had been going on for like
maybe over 10 years.
Whoa.
Yes. They never saw anything. I had so many doctors did all of these tests. I had the nuclear MRI where they put that in my vein. I had to drink all of that mercury. I had to do all of that. I have had so many tests for so many different doctors. And nobody, every time they would come back, they would say they do not see anything, everything was good, you do not have cancer or anything. But I knew I was dying. I knew I was dying because of how I felt. As a matter of fact, to myself, I was preparing myself. I even did that. People didn't know it. A lot of people didn't know it. That I knew I felt like I was dying.
So, okay. I have a really strong way I feel about this whole thing, but I don't want to leave that. I don't want to leave with that. I want to ask you, how do you feel about, like, how do you feel about, like, the divine and, like, God's hand in all of it? Like, how do you see the situation now?
How I see it now and how I saw it back then, he was letting me know, not that I had something going on, but what I felt like he was letting me know back then when I felt like I was dying was to get my life in order, you know. I felt like because I didn't have anybody to talk to, I didn't have anybody to discuss how I was feeling, because all of these doctors was telling me I'm good. And the last doctor, the only doctor who I'm seeing now, which is Dr. He said that you were not crazy. You was telling the truth about how you was feeling, what you was going through. Everything you was saying was correct. And these doctors had you thinking it was you, and it wasn't. And how I feel now, I feel like it's something that God had to sit me down for, because I've always thought I was supposed to be up and running, for everybody else. But then when I'm not doing that, I'm somewhere, want to be in a dark room by myself. I'm like, in the daytime, I'm for the people. And when it's off time, I need to be alone.
Just do your thing.
Yeah. Unless it is somebody like me who can understand me and can come in and check on me, maybe pat me, touch me, and then let me be until I can come to them and do it back to them. And how long it may take, I don't know, because I'm not that type of person. It may take me a long time to show you. I might want to buy you something to show you, but not tell you or give myself to you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about the day that that we wrote the affirmations about your health, and I do feel like words have power. I feel like there's a tremendous power in words. Like
words do have power, and I know this and do this, but I never used it, and I know that I could do that. Until I met you, it made me want to go back to that, because in my younger years, I used to keep my Bible with me, and I would read my Bible. I felt so safe. Whatever it was I needed, asked for, wanted, it was given to me. I don't care what it was. If it was a large amount of money, $20,000, $50,000, that money would show up. That money would show up. And I know that power. I know it can happen. Because it has, how you think I'm here?
you tell me. I mean, I know you have. I know that.
That's what happened in the past. Because I lived it off that. I lived off the word. But I got depressed, slid back, and shut down.
Oh my God! I just want to say it to you. Okay, but look what you just said. Look at your words. Look what you just said. You said my words have power. How do you think I got here? We're sitting in your business. We're sitting in your business, looking at your business. But look, your words have power. I want to say back to you. How do you think you got here when that guy was literally opens up your body and tells you had 2 days to live, basically?
Right.
How do you think you got here from? I remember that day standing there in that office with Eli, and we're writing the affirmations and speaking the words, and literally like less than a month later, here you are telling me the next time I came here, I just had emergency surgery.
You how I was cut open.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm all like, dang.
Because you didn't know it was going to be like that. I didn't know it was being like that. Nobody knew.
No.
Nobody. I'm saying. They just gonna drill a hole and go in, patch, or back out.
Yeah.
Nobody knew this was gonna happen.
God knew before you asked, you were answered. That's what I keep thinking. I keep thinking before you asked, you were answered, and how the universe only like conspires in your favor, and like God like sent like all the people that you needed in that time to support you, and to let you know like. I don't know. I guess it reminds me of this conversation that I had with my ex.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I would say because she said to me, she wanted to die until she got diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer, and they told her that she couldn't live. And then she said since then she's never been depressed enough to want to kill herself, because she realized that the joy of the gift of life that she was given And
that's hard to be with a mate. And that's why I always kept it to myself. It's hard to be with a mate and they want to leave you. They telling you they want to die. That's something hard. That's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And to live with. Because you love this person. And this person telling you they want to die, that means you want to leave me. You hurting me.
It's personal, yeah.
It's personal.
That's true.
Because I love you. And you don't love me enough. So what if that's why I kept all that to myself. I didn't tell you how I was thinking and feeling. Because
you don't want people to
she was telling you.
Well, she didn't tell me at the time. So she's my ex. At the time I knew that she was suicidal. She did tell me in certain times. We had conversations like about it, but she ended up getting diagnosed with brain cancer after we broke up.
Okay.
And so we talked recently, and she told me about that. She shared with me about that because I've been talking about suicide and mental health and just kind of like, I just feel like it's a conversation that we need to have more. I think when you say it to me and I see you and I respect you so much, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at what you've built. I'm looking at like, just even from the outside looking in, I'm like, this is a person that I really respect. And when you say to me like,
but
hey,
you said you see what I built. I do not. I do not treasure for myself what you see. I did it for others. When I was trying to do this, it wasn't about me. It was about the future. When we bought the land, we bought 50 acres. Well, I didn't buy the whole 50 acres right there.
You good? Yep. Appreciate it.
So someone walked into the tire shop, as tire shops go, and proceeded to do a transaction. So that's where tonight's episode is going to end for you guys.
We will revisit Miss Sandra's story in a future episode. So be sure to stay
I suppose
tuned.
it's time for us to unwind. It's time for us to maybe go on a walk together. Maybe we'll bring the dog. It's time for us to think about what we're thinking about and speak gratitude and joy into our lives. Anybody who's not coughing or sneezing tonight should say thank you. Thank you to your body. Thank you to your soul. Thank you to the universe that you're not coughing or sneezing tonight. And if you happen to have a car to drive, regardless of what it looks like or what it might seem like, that's also a good thing to say thank you to the universe for. Thank you so much. Thank you for the rain and the way that it sounds. Thank you for the love that you've given us. Thank you for the people who check up on us. We thank you for the fact that we're able to breathe. Thank you that somehow today we've gotten everything that we need. Thank you. It's time for our night flight. It's time for us to unwind together. Are you ready? It's time for us to speak love and energy over our lives. So, find yourself somewhere comfortable to relax. Find yourself peace. And let's get going.
My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. My unexpected good now happens.
The tide of destiny has turned.
The unexpected good now happens.
Love and success.
The four winds of success now blow to me my own. From north, south, east, and west comes my endless good.
The tide of destiny
Endless
has turned.
good comes to me in endless ways.
Perfect conditions. Love and
Endless
success.
good comes to me in endless ways. I clap my hands and rejoice because the universe goes before me, making clear, easy, and successful my way.
Love and success.
Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. I see clearly and act quickly. My greatest expectations come to pass in a miraculous way. There is no competition on the spiritual plane.
Now come my way.
What is rightfully mine is given to me under grace in a perfect way. The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and success now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and success now come my way.
And success. Now come my way.
I banish the past and now live in the wonderful now, where happy surprises come to me each day.
The tide of destiny has turned.
I have a perfect work
Perfect
in
conditions.
a perfect way.
Love
I
and
give a perfect
success.
service
Now come
for
my
a
way.
perfect pay. God is incapable of separation or division. Therefore, my good is incapable of separation or division. I am one with my undivided good.
The tide of
God
destiny
is
has turned.
incapable of separation or division.
Conditions.
Therefore, my good
And
is
success.
incapable of separation or division. I am one with my
The tide of
undivided
destiny
good.
has turned. In perfect conditions. Love and
I
success.
serve only
Now
faith,
come my way.
and my unlimited abundance is made manifest.
The tide of destiny has turned.
All things I seek
Perfect conditions.
are now seeking
Love
me.
and success. Now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned.
There is no
Perfect
there.
conditions.
There is only here.
And success. Now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions. Love and success. Now come my way.
All things I seek are now seeking me. My good now overtakes me in a surprising way.
The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions. Love and success. Now
My
come
good
my way.
now overtakes me in a surprising way.
The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions. Love and
My
success.
good now overtakes
Come
me
my way.
in a surprising way.
The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions.
All that is mine by
and
divine
success.
right is now released and reaches me in a perfect way. Under grace. There is only here. My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. The unexpected good now happens. My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. My unexpected good now happens.
The tide of destiny has turned.
The unexpected good now happens.
Love and success.
The four winds of success now blow to me my own. From north, south, east, and west comes my endless good.
The tide of destiny
Endless
has turned.
good comes to me in endless ways.
Perfect conditions. Love and
Endless
success.
good comes to me in endless ways. I clap my hands and rejoice because the universe goes before me, making clear, easy, and successful my way.
Love and success.
Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. I see clearly and act quickly. My greatest expectations come to pass in a miraculous way. There is no competition on the spiritual plane. What is rightfully mine is given to me under grace, in a perfect way. The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and success now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and success now come my way.
And success now come my way.
I banish the past and now live in the wonderful now, where happy surprises come to me each day.
The tide of destiny has turned.
I have a perfect work,
Perfect conditions.
in a perfect way.
Love
I
and
give a perfect
success
service
now come
for
my
a
way.
perfect pay. God is incapable of separation or division.
Turned.
Therefore, my good is incapable of separation or division. I am one with my undivided good.
The tide of
God
destiny
is
has turned.
incapable of separation or
Perfect
division.
conditions.
Therefore, my good
and
is
success.
incapable of separation or division. I am one with my
The tide of
undivided
destiny
good.
has turned. In perfect conditions, love and
I
success
serve only
now
faith,
come my way.
and my unlimited abundance is made manifest.
The tide of destiny has turned.
All things I
Perfect
seek
conditions,
are now seeking
love
me.
and success now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned.
There is no
Perfect
there.
conditions,
There is only here.
and success now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and success now come my way.
All things I seek are now seeking me. My good now overtakes me in a surprising way.
The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and success now
My
come
good
my way.
now overtakes me in a surprising way.
The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions, love and
My
success
good now overtakes
come
me
my way.
in a surprising way.
The tide of destiny has turned. In perfect conditions,
All
love
that is mine by
and
divine right
success
is now released and reaches me in a perfect way. Under grace. There is only here. My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. The unexpected good now happens. My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. My unexpected good now happens.
The tide of destiny has turned.
The unexpected good now happens.
Love and success.
The four winds of success now blow to me my own. From north, south, east, and west comes my endless good.
The tide of destiny
Endless
has
good
turned.
comes to me in endless ways.
Perfect conditions, love and
Endless
success.
good comes to me in endless ways. I clap my hands and rejoice because the universe goes before me, making clear, easy, and successful my way.
Love and success.
Under grace.
The tide of destiny
Endless
has
good
turned.
comes to me in endless ways.
Perfect conditions, love and
Endless
success
good comes to me in endless ways. I clap my hands and rejoice because the universe goes before me, making clear, easy, and successful my way.
love and success.
Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. I see clearly and act quickly. My greatest expectations come to pass in a miraculous way. There is no competition on the spiritual plane. What is rightfully mine is given to me under grace in a perfect way. The tide of destiny has turned. success now come my way. The tide of destiny has turned. Perfect conditions, love and success now come my way.
In success, now come my way.
I banish the past and now live in the wonderful now, where happy surprises come to me each day.
The tide of destiny has turned.
I have a perfect work,
Perfect
in
conditions,
a perfect way.
love,
I
and
give a
success.
perfect service
Now come
for
my
a
way.
perfect pay. God is incapable of separation or division. Therefore, my good is incapable of separation or division. I am one with my undivided good.